took me a long time to figure out how to get this to be drinkable, to be honest. Hey everyone, welcome to Bellwether Fields. My name's Gabe, and today we're filming from our city location in Alexandria. This is our tiny apartment. We live in 186 square feet, and this is our tiny kitchen. This is it. So today we're going to talk about bone broth, and we're going to tell you all the secrets that we use and found over the years to make a really delicious batch of bone broth. I was motivated to start working with bone broth because the versions that I found in the grocery store were either just thin, virtually tasteless broths, or they didn't taste that great, or I don't know, they just wasn't the kind of thing that you wanted to really drink on its own, and it didn't really add anything to any of the recipes that I would use it in for like soups and gravies. And it's expensive in the store. It's kind of a bummer to spend $13 on 1 quart of liquid, and you get home and you're just all excited about heating it up and drinking it, and it's this like watery, flavorless blah. So I started experimenting with this, and it took years to get to a point where I thought that this would be something I'd want to sip on its own. Certainly the first few batches were nothing at all to write home about. It's something that I've been probably doing for the last 10 years or so, but really not that great for the first few years. It took me a long time to figure out how to get this to be drinkable, to be honest. It's really gotten a lot better. And it was after I figured out a few crucial details that started to occur. So we'll share that with you today. Bone broth is one of our foundational tools for maintaining our health. I think it's part of why neither of us really get sick, or we haven't for the last few years. One of the only scientifically proven facts about bone broth is that it is shown to slow down the common cold. And it's been used for thousands of years as a remedy for all sorts of things. And there are lots of other benefits as well. One of the biggest obstacles to doing this at first was just simply how long it takes. I mean, if you use traditional cooking methods, this is going to take 24 to 48 hours of simmering in an open stock pot. And that's just not doable. It wasn't for me living in a city in an apartment the way that we live. So today, I'm going to show you how to make your own bone broth in just 4 hours from start to finish. So let's get to it. These are the tools that you're going to need to make your bone broth. Other than a nice sharp kitchen knife, you're going to need a stock pot. And this is for the second simmer of the broth after you've already made the actual bone broth itself. You're going to simmer it in an open pot to concentrate flavor and impart minerals. And for the primary simmer, this is the pressure cooker that I use. This is an electric pressure cooker by Instant Pot. And I got the 8-quart version, which I thought was a major upgrade on the 6-quart version, because you just get that much more liquid or bone broth at the end. It really makes it worth the time that you're going to put into it, because even at 4 hours, it's still a time investment. These are ingredients that we're going to use today for our bone broth. We've got carrots. This is celeriac or celery root. This is a really nice substitute for celery. You can use celery too, but this has got more complex flavor, and I think probably a more complex mineral profile in parts on the broth. We've got onions. I'm just going to rough cut these with the skins on for quarters. Ginger, also skin on, just little chunks. Black peppercorns, maybe just a dozen to 20. 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. This is it's like an acidic component that is supposed to help leach out the calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, all the good things that are in the bones of the chicken. And this is our fish sauce. This imparts the umami. This is one of those secret ingredients. Umami is considered like the 5th taste sense. So you've got sweet, salt, sour, bitter, and umami is the 5th one. So this is crucial. Don't skip that. It's not going to taste like fish, I promise. And for the chicken parts, this is a chicken carcass that I roasted a few days ago and put into the freezer and just defrosted overnight. This has got lots of cartilaginous tissue, bone, skin. I mean, everything that you need to make a nice, rich, gelatinous bone broth. I've got 2. I like to use 2. We've got chicken feet. This is another crucial secret ingredient. This is going to impart the jello, the jello consistency after you've put it in the fridge overnight, and you open it up and You shake it and it's moving like jello. That's what this imparts. That's not to be skipped either. And then to make this truly delicious and rich, I found that we use hearts, about 10 chicken hearts, and also, maybe controversially, chicken liver. And I've read elsewhere that, you're not supposed to use chicken liver. It's going to make it taste better. And I found that not to be true at all. In fact, I think it's part of the main reasons why I like to heat and sip this by itself. So I would encourage you to push your brave button and use the liver if that's not something you're used to using. And maybe especially if you're not used to cooking with organs, because this is a way to get all of the nutrition of the liver and all the other organs without actually eating the organ. So big plus. All right, step one is make the actual bone broth itself. This is the first simmer. We're going to add in all of our chicken parts, the carcass, the heart, and the liver. Then we're going to add our ginger, peppercorns, and apple cider vinegar, fish sauce, and salt. So let's start with this. This is really simple. We're just going to put everything in here and just fill it up with water. Just be careful not to fill it up past the max fill line. Actually, I like to keep it about an inch below that, just to be on the safe side. Not that anything bad's going to happen. It's just that it's not really going to build up the pressure and the steam to cook. So you'll get something that's been like simmering for a couple hours, and that's not really worth anything. We have the hearts. So got about 10 hearts. These are going to go in. And about 10 livers. These are usually sold in 1 pound packs at the farmer's market. And it's about a third of that pack. So you don't really have to count it. And the feet. Next, we're going to do our ginger. Just a really simple rough cut. Don't have to peel them at all. That's a relief. It's like my least favorite thing to do, peel ginger and garlic. All right, let's get our acid in there. Apple cider vinegar. And our fish sauce. I like Red Boat. It's a really good brand. I've tried a few. I think most Asian supermarkets are going to have it or something like it that's just as good. All right, some peppercorns. Like a dozen or two. And some salt. About a tablespoon of that as well. And just stopping again about an inch below that max fill line. This lid is part of the miracle of the electric pressure cooker. Once that thing is pressurized, this lid is going nowhere. You can walk away from it, which is awesome. So I'm going to hit the manual pressure and just make sure it's set to high pressure, which it is. And let's bring this down. We're going to do 90 minutes today. And there we go. It's going to take usually like 20 to 30 minutes for it to get up to pressure, and then it'll do the 90 minutes, and then it takes about 10 minutes to manually relieve all the pressure so you can open it and strain it. While we're waiting, let's review some of the benefits of drinking bone broth. What we know from science for sure is that it's got a lot of protein in it. There's 6 to 12 grams of protein per cup. In some studies in petri dishes, it's been shown to slow the migration of certain immune cells in the common cold. So it may help with that in the actual body. It lowers inflammation in some cases and also helps to reduce mucus in people with colds. So that's for sure, we know that from science. In the Paleo, Primal, Weston A. Price Foundation, and GAPS communities, these are all systems of eating that promote, in large part, eating a lot of meat and dairy and animal products. There's a lot more extensive list of potential benefits, and some of them look legit and some of them seem to be unproven. But I'll go ahead and start with a few. The best reason nutritionally to drink bone broth is for the glycine. When you eat a lot of meat, like muscle meat from cows, chicken, pork, you're getting a lot of methionine, and methionine can lead to high homocysteine levels. Homocysteine is something your doctor measures in your blood. It is associated with cardiovascular disease, heart attacks, stroke, when it's in levels that are too high. So this can help bring that down if it's high and help keep it low if it's already low. So good to know if you eat a lot of meat. For metabolism, it helps control your blood sugar and it helps with the breakdown of fatty acids in your diet. Glycine also acts as a neurotransmitter in the body. It works to affect the central nervous system in ways that can have an impact on your sleep, your memory and cognition, your appetite, and even your pain perception. It's shown to heal the gut, specifically the lining of the gut. This is used in the GAPS protocol. I can't remember what that stands for, but it's used in people that have had a lot of trouble with their digestive tracts and with autoimmune illness in particular. It's high in collagen and protein, which would be great for your skin and your joints if it's absorbed and converted into something that's biologically available in your body. It contains something called proline, which is a protein that helps fuel certain immune cells located in your gut lining. And it stimulates the production of stomach acid, which can be a very good thing for folks that have trouble with stomach acid. And it also shown to promote sleep. So in summary, in my opinion, the best reasons to drink bone broth are because it's delicious. It's a part of scratch cooking. It makes your food taste amazing. It's based on 20,000 years of ancient folk wisdom and tradition. It's part of eating nose to tail, which is using every part of the animal to reduce food waste and to improve your nutritional profiles, and because of all the nutrition that I've mentioned up to this point. So it's not a magical elixir, but it will positively affect your health and enjoyment of food. Let's go ahead and just get the second simmer ready. Just gonna do a little rough cut. I'm gonna cut these into quarters, onions too. Some other things that I like to use in here that I don't have today just because they weren't at the store. Parsnips is a big one. I bet you could use, I don't typically use things like mushrooms, but I bet you could. Maybe some radish. You can play around with it a little bit. There's room for some creativity. First step is done. This is how it looks. Let's go ahead and strain it. The trick to doing this is to do it without burning the crap out of your fingertips. And this would be a lot easier if you have oven mitts, which I don't. That's a nice color. Yikes. All right, we're just gonna put this on the stove. I'm gonna bring it up to a boil and then lower the heat and let it simmer uncovered for an hour. If you want to do more, you can. It'll just concentrate the flavors a little bit more and it'll give you a little bit less volume of broth, but an hour is going to do it. That's bone broth from start to finish in just 4 hours. Hit me up in the comments and let me know what secrets or tips you found as you've made bone broth. Please don't forget to give us a like and subscribe to our channel. We would very, very much appreciate it. Thank you for watching today, and y'all have a good day.